Hi guys, this is jason.com and I'm here with the unboxing of the Xiaomi 13 Lite, freshly unveiled. We've already unboxed the Xiaomi 13 Pro, we did a hands-on with the Xiaomi 13, so let's see what the Lite version has to offer. So first things first, this is our very first contact with the Qualcomm Snapdragon 7 Gen 1 processor, which is pretty exciting. I'm pretty bored with the Snapdragon 778 and the 778 Plus, so here we are with something new. This is the blue hue of the device, it also comes in violet and several other interesting hues. This camera here is basically sort of like a tribute to the Xiaomi 12T maybe, and also to the 11T. At the same time, it tries something asymmetrical and new. A large hole here, small hole here. Let's fire it up and see what the fuss is about. So this is more of a mid-range offering compared to the 13 and 13 Pro. And let's talk about materials first. Glass at the front, glass at the back side, and there's a plastic frame in between, keeping the weight light. Well, how light? It's actually 171 grams. And just so you know, the device comes with IP53 certification, taking some dust and splash resistance. Now, I'm going to put it here for now, as it boots, and let's see what's actually inside the box. So this is the key used to access the slots. Then we have the warranty card. Then you have the safety information. And then you have the quick start guide, followed by the obvious case. Okay, so also inside the box is a pretty generous charger for a mid-range phone. 67 watts, used to be flagship material a few years ago. You can see here the USB-A connector. Speaking of which, we have here a cable which goes from USB-C to USB-A, hooks up to the charger, charges up the device. We're done with the packaging, let's talk about the device some more. It comes from the factory with a pre-applied screen protection. And as you can see, it has a pill-shaped cutout for the front camera, something you don't see very often nowadays. And moving further from that, let's see what it also has to offer. So 171 grams and a thickness of just 7.2 millimeters. There's Gorilla Glass 5 protection at the front side. And if you're talking about other things, the screen I'm messing with here is an AMOLED, 120 Hz, of course, for the gamers, 6.55 inches, Full HD Plus resolution, and well, that's about it. Now, the interesting part comes when you talk about the CPU. It's a Qualcomm Snapdragon 7 Gen 1, 4nm chip, supposed to be one of the most powerful mid-range chips around. We're lucky enough to have it with 8 gigs of RAM and 256 gigabytes of storage. There's a version with 8 and 128. Just so you know, it's UFS 2.2, it's not UFS 3.0 or anything like that, and we don't have a micro SD card slot available. Moving further, the battery is a 4500 mAh unit, which juices up at 67 watts, which you probably figured out for yourself, judging by the charger you saw before. Now, other specs, obviously we're getting 5G connectivity here. And it's also pretty obvious we're getting Wi-Fi 6, there's GPS dual band, NFC, and if you look closer to the top side, I'm guessing that this one here should be the infrared emitter. I also see an inscription with Harman Kardon, and it's actually, let's see, it's actually Dolby Atmos, could have fooled me. So there's Dolby Atmos, and we also have a stereo set of speakers, there's the one at the bottom. And we can also find the one at the top, probably the earpiece. Okay, so USB-C 2.0 port here, there's the SIM tray over here. Feels like a very light and comfy phone. Doesn't draw many fingerprints on account of the texture of the backside. And I think it's time we addressed the elephant in the room, which is the pill-shaped cutout here. We're dealing with a dual selfie camera, which makes this a selfie phone. It has a 32 megapixel main shooter, which is an ultra wide, and there's the 8 megapixel, which is a depth camera, which is actually not something bad to have. Okay, so if you go here, you can alternate between 1x, 0.8x, and 0.6, which is basically ultra wide. So yeah, the usual large number of modes for Xiaomi is here: 50 megapixel shots, short video, panorama, vlog, slow-mo, time-lapse, also movie effects, long exposure, dual video, pocket, mirror, clone, and others. We have a night mode, have a portrait mode, there's the photo mode with AI. Also video section here, let's see how far we can film, 4K 30 frames per second tops, no 4K 60 frames. I also love that the teleprompter is now on mid-range phones. Documents, okay, and a pro section for both photo and video, at least on paper. Let's see, apparently only photo as far as I can see right now. Forgot to mention the setup of the back camera, so let's check it out. First of all, 50 megapixel main camera, which is not something bad to see on a mid-range phone. But then there's the usual package. 8 megapixel ultra-wide, 2 megapixel macro, and the dual LED flash. So 4K capture is also part of the package, and I'm pretty curious about the interface. Without checking it, I would say it's MIUI 14, and I guess I would be right. It's MIUI 14 based on Android 13, and it's supposed to come with something new, but it keeps the very same widgets we knew of before. There's no stacking, there's no 3D widgets here, just the same ones, give or take. A new one for digital well-being, and maybe a new one for music, but that's about it. The separation continues between the notifications and the quick settings, and we should also be getting a app drawer, provided that you have it activated. By the way, some nice widgets here for the steps and media files, those ones I noticed. And I think this is pretty much it in a nutshell, unless I forgot anything. Now the price should be at around $500 or $560, and the colors should be black, blue, and pink. This is a rebranding of the Xiaomi CV2 from China, and the thing I like the most about it is that it's youthful, it's light, it's slim, it's very easy to handle with a single hand, and it has a dual selfie camera, which immediately makes it a rival for the Huawei Nova 10 Pro. I guess we'll have to wait and see if it beats it or not. I'm going to take some photos with it and be back with a conclusion. That's it from gsn.com. This has been the unboxing of the Xiaomi 13 Lite.